as a whole. But look at that brutally low number, AB. And it is juiced to the over at minus 130. Las Vegas. AB, you're up.
I love everything about the Raiders, but I just don't love them this year. I think it's going to be a tough year. I think they're looking probably right at 6 games. I'm going to take the under here. And again, I'm just playing a number because the quarterback position scares me. Really, nothing else does. Now, the running back position, we'll see, but you've got a nice stable there, right? I like the skill position guys. Obviously, you just saw Devontae there. Max Crosby's arguably the best in the league. It's just the quarterback position, man. It scares me, all right? Aiden O'Connell back there behind. I don't know what to do with it. I rock with Antonio Pierce a lot. It just scares me at quarterback, man, because if one thing goes wrong, this could be tough.
It really could be. And at this number, it's really a weird number, AB. I agree with you. DG, let me come over to you. Your thoughts?
As Tony in the chat just said, it is Minshew mania, baby. And I am here for the over on the Raiders going over 6.5 wins. I honestly love them to get to 8 wins here. I think this is a really good team. I think that they are disrespected in a sense. And I feel like this team really has a chance to be a surprise and honestly show up a lot of times when other teams might not be as excited to be playing football that Sunday. And so I think they're going to get to over 6.5 wins. It is a little juicy at minus 130, but you know, it's always worth the squeeze.
Did you see the video, DG, of Minshew working out to Creed?
Yes.
Did you see that? Oh,
yes.
My God. I'll go there.
Creed's coming back, I think.
Could be a Minshew year. Could be a Minshew year. Melanie likes a Shane. A lot of people. Tony says Minshew mania? Question mark. Hey, it's DG's world. We're just living in it. All right, Charles, over, under.
I'm riding with the over 6.5 wins too. I mean, the schedule is kind to them. They get the Panthers, Chargers, Broncos. I think they can split with them at least. In the Steelers, Browns, Rams, Bucks, and Saints. So those are my projected 7 wins for them. I think Minshew and company can stumble on 7 wins. 7-10 season, 8-9 sounds about right to me. So yeah, give me the over 6.5 wins for the Raiders.
Stumble on Antonio Pierce. I worked with him for many years at ESPN. 2 things. Super, super nice dude. The other thing is I never thought he would be a great head coach. Didn't know if he would have the what a head coach needs as far as game manipulation and game, clock management, all that kind of stuff.
He's a player. He's a player.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. He's a player. That's a great line. He's a player. He doesn't think like a coach, but he was a linebacker. So I've got to have some patience with him in my mind. But he's a Raider, and I'm a Chief. So not that much patience. Soupy, talk to me.
I'm going with the over. I am not that nervous about the offense. They brought in Luke Getsky. He is great at 2 tight end sets. That's why they drafted Brock Bowers really early. I think Michael Mayer becomes more of a blocking tight end. Brock Bowers is going to be that receiver tight end. Gardner Minshew is going to be able to get the ball to Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers also because of Zamir White. They are going to lean heavily on the run game, and that means you're going to have defenses keeping 7 in the box to try to stop a man like him. That's going to give some one-on-one opportunities for Minshew to complete the ball and move downfield. And then, of course, they're going to ride that defense. They brought in Christian Wilkins from Miami to go along with Max Crosby. That is going to be an incredible pass rushing defense right there. I'm excited for the Raiders. I think they'll be better than a lot of people think. I think they could get to 9 wins this year.
If you watched Receivers on Netflix, then you had to become a fan of Max Crosby. He's kind of like it was all about Devontae, but boy, they featured a few other dudes, and Max Crosby is something else. By the way, shout out to Nate. He says Creed is great, but the Colts song guy is on another level. It's been viral. AB, have you seen the Colts song guy?
Yeah, he's fantastic. They've got one of the best mascots too. That dude's wild as hell.
It really is. They really think about everything. If you haven't seen the Colts song guy, it's just a guy. He's just himself. It's not fantastic singing, but it's entertaining, and he just loves the Colts. And at the end of the day, that's all as fans we want. Not making fun of anybody. Just be a fan, and that's all he is. I love it. All right, AB, we've got overs, we've got unders. or over. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, let's go to props now because you've got a name that honestly, I don't think I've said in a minute. Explain this to the good people.
No one has. Now, the fact we're talking about the Raiders, I do have to give a shout out. All right. Kendra Moyes Stabler. All right. The daughter of the late, great Ken Stabler. Friend of mine. She's fantastic. And I want to give a shout out to her. Absolutely. Because she loves the Raiders almost as much as anybody on planet Earth, man. So shout out to her. She's a really great person. The Stablers are a great family. Now, Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. Remember him? All right. It's like if anybody read highlights as a kid. All right. You had to find the hidden pictures. That's been Brock Bowers for the last 8 months. All right. But he's gallant and not goofus. He's going to be out there catching everything. And you talk about a team that could have quarterback issues. All right. Who do quarterbacks look to, especially backup quarterbacks? The tight end. That's their safety valve. Gardner Minshew will use him as a safety valve. And I can assure you, I've seen Brock Bowers since he was, quite frankly, in high school. He was NFL size then, and he's NFL size now. The dude's a beast. Take him over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. He can run them in. That's the scary part, but not in the NFL. He'll be catching.
All right. So AB's going on the offensive side. Jeff in the chat says Soupy is pumping up the Raiders like they don't actually suck. Shout out to Z-Man. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, though. Doesn't agree with you, Soupy. But you are also, sir, staying on the offensive side of the ball, just like AB. Where are you headed?
I believe this is going to be a heavy run offense. I'm going with Zamir White. I was considering him as my all-in player because I do love him this year. There's the potential for 300 touches because in the final 4 games where he took over that backfield, 17 carries, 22 carries, 20 carries, 25 carries, averaging 4.3 yards per carry. He is going to get over this 800, possibly 1,000 yards this year.
And a lot of those games on West Coast time. So a lot of those numbers you won't even realize until all of a sudden he's at 600-700. AB, by the way, a lot of the chat's agreeing with you. Jared says Bowers is a beast. Scott says Bowers Rookie of the Year. So they are backing you up. Matty Ice says Bowers is going to line up everywhere. They got you.
One, I love that. And number 2, go back after the show. All right, YouTube. Georgia used to run him from the backfield. They'd have this dude out taking pitches like he was Derrick Henry, and he's faster than everybody. This guy is a monster, man, 100%. And he's fun, too. Yeah, he loves to block. Like, it's a passion. He's an old school football player, dude. He's great.
Kind of like George Kittle. I didn't realize how much George Kittle liked to block until I watched receivers. Kind of like Bowers. All right, I just learned more about Bowers in the last 2 minutes than I've ever learned in my entire life. So, AB, thank you for that. Now, your cohort, well, actually, DG's cohort in crime, Charles, Big Cheese, he says Max Crosby will be the defensive player of the year. And in order for him to do that, he will have to do what, Charles?
I think Max Crosby gets at least, I'm hoping he gets at least 20 plus sacks at plus 900. He had Mad Max had 14.5 last season, and I think he even missed a game. And then Christian Wilkins coming in should bolster that line as well. So, and plus I expect the defense to be on the field plenty as well. So give me Mad Max Crosby to get at least 20 sacks in this season.
Mad Max, I don't care if you hate the Raiders or you don't. This dude you got to respect is one of the greatest in the game today, if not the greatest. Now, let's stay on the defensive side of the ball. DG, you're up.
Coach, you just talked about respect. There's a lot of disrespect coming on against Robert Spillane. I think he is an animal. The dude is he's the anchor of the defense for the Raiders. And I want to go with him over 120.5 combined tackles. It's not sexy play, but it is a fun play to look at. He spent the last 4 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers until this previous season where he had 148 combined tackles. Yes, 28 more than the actual number. So I love this here for a guy who his head coach is a former linebacker, loves him. The guy will be all over the place. So go with Robert Spillane for over 120.5 combined tackles and assists.
Boom and boom. AB.